or lower your costs, or however you want to think about it, with whatever tools that you're using. So if you use tactical arbitrage, this works great with that, but whatever means of sourcing that you do, as long as you're buying from retail stores, obviously, if it's online arbitrage, if it's retail arbitrage, you know, all of that stuff is going to work out. Now, if you're buying in retail, obviously, you can only use limited cashback sites. There are some cashback sites that will let you, they basically have like a credit card that you use, and you're still going to get cash back from them. And it's actually a little bit higher. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of that because most of you don't like using credit cards. I think it's a great way to get cash back if it fits your buying model. But, you know, a lot of people it doesn't. So let's just jump right into it. First, before we get started, I'm going to start a little poll here. And I'd really like to know how many of you guys are using tactical arbitrage, if you even know what that is. If you can hit that little button real quick and let me know, you know, because it really, I should have had another poll, but, you know, it's good to know that everybody knows what that is. So it's actually about half and half. So I don't know if you guys see that, but about 52% of you said you are. So if not, you know, I'd love to talk to you after the call. So if you want to book something with me for next week, go to book.shawnmayo.com, and you know, we can talk all about tactical arbitrage. You know, maybe you tried it before, maybe it wasn't for you, maybe you don't know if it is for you. I mean, I can take you through, show you everything, how we use it, how we make money with that, and hopefully get you guys all on board. I'm not, I have nothing to do with the tool, but I am an affiliate. But so Jacob had asked about Michael's in Canada. They have regular sales of 50% off or more. Do you think there's a good idea to use them often, or would you buy in a different way? Yeah, so obviously sales are great. You know, I don't think Michael's is going to last much longer because, you know, we have Michael's here in the U.S. I know they're in Canada. I think they may be in some other countries too. And the problem there, I mean, you see a lot of clearance sales going on at a place all the time. For one thing, more people are going to be, you know, going to places that have a lot of clearance sales. Like Walmart, you know, I can use Walmart as a great example because when you go to Walmart, you know, if you hit up those clearance sections, and I made several videos telling you why you shouldn't do this, but there's just so many people that just go from store to store and just look at those clearance sales and move on. Well, most of those stores are marking their products down, you know, nationwide, worldwide, whatever, wherever they're at. And then, you know, you know, it's just a race to the bottom because everybody bought that stuff on clearance. So, you know, when you go and look at it, you may be comparing it to people bought it at full price, but now when you buy it, you know, who knows, hundreds of people, dozens of people could have bought that at the clearance price. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll just jump right into it here. Okay, so I used Lady Foot Locker as an example because with yeah, Hobby Lobby is taking market share from Michael's. Yeah, I haven't been to Michael's this year, but every time I went, you know, they'd have a center aisle that just had so much stuff, you know, on clearance. But if they're doing 50% off coupons, I mean, that's just crazy to me. But it's good in the way that you could, if you're using tactical arbitrage, then you can use that to, you know, you can put that right in there as a 50% discount when you are doing your searches. And I'll show you guys a little bit about that later. So Jacob said that, again, that, You can apply it to any item in the store. It seems as a part of their business model. Wonder if there's a better way to source at scale. So obviously, yes, you can, put that right into tactical arbitrage as a 50% off discount. And I'm not sure if you can use those online. Yes, people are asking questions. You can hit the question. You can hit the chat button and see that. Keith. Sorry if you can't see that, but there should be a chat button at the bottom, and then you can chat with everybody else as well. Okay, so I use a couple of tools. My favorite is called, as far as gift cards, discounted gift cards. Now, if you're in Canada or another country, there's a lot of rules, but I know as for Canada, we've researched this before, and in Canada, a lot of sites don't allow that, to buy the discounted gift cards. But I know there's a gift card granny for Canada. So if you Google that, you could probably find that if you're in Canada. I don't know if anybody but Jacob is there, but most of these tools I'm going to show you don't sell anything. So gift card granny, Cash Bear, and gift card Wiki are the three main ones I use. They have almost identical stuff. Card Bear is my favorite, but they are all pretty similar. So what they do is they're probably affiliates for all these different gift card sites, but you come here and they're not selling you gift cards. They'll send you to the places that are, though. So I don't even know if, okay, so Lady Foot Locker has 2% off. So as we can see, and here's where you're going to see the importance of going to a site that catalogs the sites that are actually selling the gift cards. Because if you went to any of these sites, they would tell you that they're sold out. But, if you go to Raise, which is a very popular one, they have them for 2%. But we can also see that the average discount is 4.4% off. So it's only 2% right now. Everybody's sold out, but the average is 4%. I would assume that people like buying like Easter shoes, stuff like that, get new shoes for Easter pictures. So a lot of the shoe places are probably down, and we can look, historically at March, and we can see from January to July, there's not much. So what it looks like is the second half of the year for Lady Foot Locker usually has them. And then, we're at the beginning of the year again, and the beginning of last year, as January ended, it got into February, looks like they ran out of stock, and the same thing happened last year. So it looks like this may be a trend for Lady Foot Locker, but that's fine because you can get notifications. So we can see the average is 4.4. So if we want to be notified when it gets at 4 or it gets at 5, whatever it is, we can just set up an alert and just hit set up alert. You don't have to log in, you don't have to do anything, but you'll start getting emails. So every time it hits 4% now, I'm going to get an email saying that you can click the link, go there and buy it. Now, when we do retail arbitrage, I set alerts. So when we're doing retail, I'm going to buy, I buy, Walmart cards, Target cards, Kohl's when we can find them. Walmart, you don't get much either. So, it's kind of when you can find them type of thing. But all the stores that we regularly buy from, we are going to buy, we're going to, I buy them and stock up on them, I mean, some of them I have a couple $1,000s worth at a time. So it depends on, where you're at. And you can see, this is really something that, ebbs and flows as the year goes on. There's certain times of the year where people are buying gift cards, and there's certain times when they're selling them. Obviously, the beginning of the year is the best time to buy them because everybody is selling them because of Christmas gifts. People get gift cards for stores they didn't want to shop at, and then they go onto these sites and they sell them. So, the percentage goes down because there's a lot more of them out there, and that's the best time to be buying And never buy beyond the guarantee. You can see right here the guarantee for each one of these sites. It doesn't really go by store. It's going to go by whoever the site that sells them are. So Ray's has a 1 year, some are 45.90. Like almost everyone is different, or every one of these actually is different. So keep that in mind when you're buying them, because people might sell these cards and then use the codes, and then it may look like it's not there, but you still have a guarantee from the company. I've never really had an experience. I know some people have reported bad experiences, but every single one of these companies, I've been able to get my card back from. I think I've used every one of them. And I wouldn't say there's a great graph. I would assume that Lady Foot Locker doesn't have, a ton of cards out there. But when you look at some of the bigger sites, and, sometimes I'll just go here and I'll see these are the most popular ones, which means what they're selling the most of. Things that are obvious: Starbucks, Walmart, Best Buy, stuff like that. Kohl's. Kohl's usually has, a good discount. Target, you can't use the red. They won't let you use the red card and a gift card at the same time. So at least in the stores in my area. So you can see if you get 5% off. I don't usually buy Target cards because I'm only getting 5.5% off. So it's really not worth the trouble. I'm not going to buy a card less than probably about 2%. Walmart, this is the range that it's in. 2 to 3% is usually the only thing I'm ever able to do. And you'll see that over time if we go in here and look. Actually, it's saying now's the time to buy. So the average discount is 3. And the best one is Cardpool with 3.5. You can see there's not much movement here. You can see right here, obviously this was, I'm not even sure why it was so low here, because I would, it's probably be like a 0.5% discount. I mean, obviously not worth buying for me. It may not be, I don't know who would want to buy a card to get a 0.5% off. But it's dropped so much because it's right before Christmas, so everybody wants Walmart. And you can see here from all the sites that are in stock, you can see there's such, every one of them has, a different value. So it's from being out of stock all the way up to 3.5%, and everywhere in between. And then this side, obviously, if you do any eating out, I always have a ton of these gift cards on hand because, if we're doing a lot of retail arbitrage, I'm shopping, 12 or 15 hours a day, and sometimes that's what happens. It's a lot faster just to eat out than to, worry about going home and cooking food. Because my whole family's out there, working with me. In my case, at least. So if that's what you have going on, then I would stock up on these, on these discounted gift cards for food. Sometimes you can find them for groceries as well, gas. Those do go fast. So, I would set an alert for some of them maybe. But you can see like Lone Star, which we don't even have by us, but 32% off. I mean, you're getting like a third off of your bill. So, you're saving a considerable amount of money on some of these restaurants. And then this column is always going to be the biggest price drops. So these are the biggest percentage of drops in the last 24 hours. And then these are the ones that sold the most. And if we go to any of the other sites, like, for example, Gift Card Granny is another big one. I don't know how I got that from. Did I misspell it, or is it no longer? Okay, there we go. So we're going to see something similar. These are basically ones that they recommend. These are not, the top anything. These are basically what they're trying to push. So Target here, we can see it's 7% off here instead of the 5.5%, and it looks like Walmart has about 4% off. And they're going to be doing the same thing. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you can always see how many they do have in stock, which is a cool thing to look at. Not super helpful for our business, but we can see they do have a ton of them. And then the last one is Gift Card Wiki. Now it's going to show you the most popular ones. And I always, again, I like to look at the hot deals because I want to see what, the best deals are, the best, or maybe the hottest selling ones. There might be some stuff going on. So, and then I also here like to see the biggest discounts. So we can just sort by what you're saving, and we can see that Ann Taylor is doing 37% off. The Loft is 35, Build-A-Bear 32, and it goes down from there. Some restaurants, Home Goods, that might be a good deal. 12% off of this Depot. It's probably something worth jumping on. And Home Goods as well. You can find some good stuff there, especially at 15% off. And if you're doing Nike, 11% it's like no laughing matter there. They also do show you all the good stuff on eBay, but that can be it can be deceiving because there's a lot of these are auctions. They're not just buy it now deals that they put out, so that may not be the final price you can get it at. You may have to bid on it. And then of course something I haven't mentioned is the type of card. So all these places obviously want to give you the digital gift card, the number or whatever that you can print out and just take into the store. But some stores just don't support a digital gift card, that you have to have the physical card. So you can turn off the physical cards and then only see the ones that are digital. As you can see, some say physical. So if it's physical, that means they have to send it to you, and they send it to you at their cost. So, it costs more to do that. Obviously, none of them want to stuff it in an envelope and, pay for the envelope and printing and, the invoice and, stamp and all that. So, they send it to you digitally whenever they can, but, some stores just don't support that, and you have to have a physical card. Sorry, Larry. The one we're looking at right now is called Gift Card Wiki. Just giftcardwiki.com. I'll send an email. We'll send you out an email when the replay is ready to everybody who registered, and then I'll give you all the links to all of these sites. And then I'm going to show you how that kind of all goes together. So this is kind of how to get the gift card. So, if you're using tactical arbitrage or any source of online arbitrage, you're going to be able to do some things together. You're going to be able to use a discount gift card. You're going to be able to use cash back. And then you're going to be able to the poll is not even showing on my screen. Let me see if I can close that. Okay, I completely closed that. Hopefully that's gone for you guys. I just opened and closed it. Okay, Joe, maybe that's poll is for you. You can probably close that yourself. All right, so now I'm gonna I'm going to look at Lady Foot Locker because we're going to need that here in a few minutes. And we can see that's giving us 2% cash back right now. So now, you know, kind of the other side of this is using Cashback Monitor, or I should say a Cashback Monitor. So I like this this tool because this shows you all the different ways of getting cash back. So not only does it show you cash back, which, you know, I'm sure most of you guys have, you know, some of the cash back tools, or, you know, one of them you're using Ebates or something like that. But if you have travel miles or points, which these are, you know, some of the credit cards with travel miles. So, or maybe some of them you're getting double, you know, the Southwest and the United and Hilton, and, you know, you can see all of them there. There's a ton more. So if you're using those, it's going to show you, you know, I mean, some of them are ridiculous. Like 1-800-Baskets is giving you 8 miles to the dollar. And that may be worth more to you than the cashback is. You know, if you're doing a lot of traveling, then, you know, some of those may be worth a lot more to you than others. And then there's also credit card points. So if you're using any of these, the Amex, Barclay, all the different Chases, Wells Fargo, it's going to show you how many points. Like the Amex Plenty for 1-800-Flowers is currently 10 points to the dollar, which is, you know, some of these are ridiculous when you might be getting, you know, sometimes you get 1 point to the dollar. You know, and you can just go there and see, you know, what works for you. And then there's a few other ones, iConsumer, Shop My Way, Swag Bucks, Best Rate. I don't use any of these, but I mean, I know a lot of you guys do. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways. They actually, very recently, they split this up into multiple menus, but this all used to be on one screen. Okay, so Keith said if you're using Delta Sky Miles, they're offering double until the end of May. Yeah, and Sephora is currently 10 points to the dollar, so you're getting 20 points to the dollar with Sephora. So, you know, if you're doing cosmetics, Sephora's that's a pretty good deal right now. All right, so again, we can look at stores sorted by rewards. We can look at the most viewed stores. Obviously, Amazon is there with 5% off. Seems amazing, but they don't usually give you that on everything. So, you know, here's where you really need to look into this stuff, because with cashback sites, they run deals all the time where they'll negotiate a deal, you know, with one place. You know, Ebates will do a deal for, you know, Father's Day, and then Mr. Rebates will have a deal with that store, you know, for Mother's Day. So, like, every time you're buying, you should be checking out, you know, where the deals are. Because, you know, a lot of people like Ebates. I mean, so many people tell me they use Ebates. Every time they check out, they just go to Ebates. But Ebates is rarely the best site to use. You know, a lot of times it's 1%, 2%, you know. This one, it's 3%, but, you know, there's some of these cashback sites that always have a minimum of 5%. So a lot of the times, if you're not getting 5% cash back, then you probably need to find somewhere else to go. So I'm going to look up Lady Foot Locker. And we can see cashback at 6% off. If you were doing Ebates here, luckily they're doing 5% off. And you can see Lemony. I really don't even know what that is. I think that must be something new, and it says 11%, which is a special rate for a new user. So if you sign up, and you want that to be your special rate, then, that may be only on your first purchase though. So, but you still get 11% back on that. And then it's showing your travel miles, your credit card points, whatever else is available for this store. Let's see, so cash back, top cash back has 6%, Be Frugal, Rebates Me, Giving Assistant are all 6% cash back, and then it goes down from there. So, there's a ton of different deals at different, at different discounts. Now let's look at something like Target. Now, as you can see, Target, not a whole lot of good stuff here. The bigger the store, the less the discount. Simply Best is giving you 3% off, and then the best travel miles are only 2 miles per dollar. So there's nothing, crazy here. But I mean, as much as I spend at Walmart, even getting Walmart, Target, even getting 3% cash back. You Promise is an interesting one. Every time I bring it up to anybody, they kind of say, oh, well, that's only to save money for college. So You Promise is something where it gives you all the cash back, but it puts it in an account like for college savings. But what most people don't, and almost every store they support has a minimum of 5%. So if you're not getting 5% at almost every store, there's some stores they don't support, but I'm pretty sure that they were all 5%. So, if it's not, then I would definitely look into You Promise and make sure you get that. So what happens with You Promise is you set up your account and then you use them, but you can just go into that account and request a check at any time. And they're going to send you a check. You don't have to use it for college. You don't have to use it for anything. They can give you a check that you can cash. So don't let that steer you away. Basically, everything you see here, you're going to be able to get cash back from. And now I know it's not as good as if you use Ebates, to get that big check that you get. No time limit on using You Promise, Greg wanted to know. I don't think so. You just can go in they may have a setting where they just send you a check, and like Ebates will send you a check like every month. I think it's every 3 months now, and they send you a check. So people like posting those big checks. That I got $100 or $500, or I've seen people who've gotten a few $1,000 checks back. So people like getting that, but you're getting those checks at the cost of getting a whole lot more money. Because if you use You Promise or Ebates, and I like Ebates, I get a few $100 back every time they send me a check at least. But on the other side, if they're giving back 1 or 2% back, and I get 5% or 8% somewhere else, then I'd rather get a bunch of checks from different people than just to get that one check. Yeah, and you just go in there in your settings. They send me a check. There's a minimum. Obviously, they're not going to send you a check for $1 or whatever it is. But when you hit that point, you just can go in there and select a check. You can go in there once a month or 3 months or once a year or whatever, and get that money. It's kind of a college savings setup, but you can get the money out, as I said, anytime. So there's not. I don't think there's a limit. You don't like forfeit your money. Obviously, it's in an account drawing interest for them, so they'd rather have it sit there. But you can withdraw it at any time. You don't have to worry about that. Right. Julie said she don't think that they have an automatic withdrawal, and I don't remember that either. But it is one of my favorites. It doesn't support every site. Like we were just looking at Lady Foot Locker, and You Promise wasn't on there. But obviously, I'm checking out these sites as well. A lot. And Todd wanted to know if I use their credit card. I know that, he says I think it's 5% back. And I think you get 5% plus the cash back. And they have a credit card, and a few of these have credit cards now. which I had mentioned at the beginning, but Ebates as well, also has a credit card as well. And if you, I'm not going to get into that here, as I said at the beginning, but you know, if you use the Ebates one and do retail arbitrage, you can get they have discounts at the stores where you're making getting even more. So I would look into that, you know, if you're able to get a credit card, and if you're you know, interested in that, then you can be doing even more. That's why I said that the cashback don't always work when you're doing online arbitrage. So I'm gonna go back to Foot Locker now. Whoops, it was Lady Foot Locker. So now, as I showed you here, Lady Foot Locker is getting 2% gift cards, and they're getting 6% cash back. So, you know, the way it works is you can't really add 6% and 2% because when you're going to use a gift card, you know, a store discount and then a gift card and then cash back, you know, it's not going to all, you know, be able to be added together, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me. All right, so I'm going to take you over to the tool we have. I know a ton of you guys use this already. It's called the Step Ahead Tactical Sourcing Sheet. A lot of you may have used this and canceled it, you know, maybe in the beginning. It was nowhere near as good as it is now, obviously. We used to have a spreadsheet that was updated pretty much constantly by a few of the people on my team. Now we've built a whole piece of software that does all this. So what we've done is I've subscribed to every website. You know, every website, when you order something, they put you on their mailing list, or you can get on their mailing list, all that kind of stuff. So, and then eventually your email gets bogged down with spam from all of these. Sometimes they send you multiple emails a day, right? And Keith is asking me if we can hook into TA in the future. You can hook this into TA right now, and I'll show you how to do that in a couple of clicks. So what we've done is we've signed up for every mailing list for every single site the Tactical Arbitrage supports in every platform, basically, except Japan. So every site supported in the US, UK, Canada, Germany, and Australia. We signed up for them, and hundreds more. There's well over and I should have looked up the number, but there are well over 1,000. Let's look at the current sheet and I can tell you exactly, but there's well over 1,000 sites that are now supported by this sheet. So there, even if you're not using Tactical Arbitrage, still works great. We source at lots of stores that are not supported by Tactical Arbitrage. Let's see, we're at 1,206, so it's 1,205. So we have 1,205 different sites that we get their email. You could say every day. Sometimes they're not every day. Sometimes they're multiple times a day. We go through about 40,000 emails a month just in support of this tool. And, you know, there's nothing automated in here. So we are manually reading those. You know, obviously every email is not, you know, doesn't work for arbitrage. You know, most of them don't. So we go through them, and, you know, if Toys R Us has 4 helmets, or a store has 4 motorcycle helmets, or Harley Davidson has 4 motorcycle helmets, you know, and they're offering you $20 off on each one of them, that's completely useless if we're doing arbitrage. But if, like, Lady Foot Locker has $20 off, or 40% off on sneakers, or 20% off on any order, Right. So, sorry, I was just reading all the comments, but I'll address all that in a minute. So what we do is we take every one of those deals, and then um, we put them in here. But we put, obviously the store, if it's a UPC supported site, if it's a tactical arbitrage supported site, and then you can click this button and see only the sites that TA supports. So if it's not a TA supported site, you won't ever see it. You can turn that on and off. You can also just look at the sites that have UPC support inside of TA. And you can also make your custom list. So if you only want to see certain stores, you can go up to the settings and select custom stores. And you'll only see the ones that you set for custom. But we're adding new stores all the time. Obviously, when TA adds support or we find more stores we want to source at, then we add those to the list as well. So we're going to show you the deal, and I mean, there's a few things that are really, I think, have been game changing for us, but this is one of them that's in here. And we found that a lot of these emails, they'll send you an email on like Monday or Tuesday for a deal that happens on the weekend. So if you're using tactical arbitrage and it's a bigger store, it may take some time. It may take a few days to get through a whole store. Well, you know what the discount is. You can punch in the information for the discount and scan that whole store and know everything you want to buy before you ever, before that sale ever starts. So we have the start date, we have the end date. When it hits the end date, obviously it disappears. A direct link to the store, or possibly if there's a specific link to get to whatever's on sale, we'll use that one. And then if there's any discounted gift card for that store, we're going to tell you what the store is, what the discount is, and a direct link to that discount, as well as for cashback sites. If there's any cashback deal, we put in what the site is, what the deal is, what's the direct link to it. And then I was looking at Lady Foot Locker for an example, because they have 40% off, up to 40% off. And then if we look at, we have this great tool where we started putting stuff into here once we got rid of that sheet. And I said, well, when that stuff's expiring, it's just disappearing. But what if we saved it? And that's what we've done, is something where we can look at the deal history. So right now it's the end of March, right? But we've been doing this since last year now. So we can see the first deal we put in here for Lady Foot Locker was March 11th. But now we can see, well, last year they had an Easter sale or an after Easter sale. So we can see they had a deal for spring here where they had 20% off of orders over $99. So every time you spend at least $99, and how hard is that when you're arbitraging shoes? That's a couple of pair. You get 20% off on the whole order. So now there's no deal like that yet, but we can see they posted a deal on April 8th of last year. And we can see, oh, well, it's a summer sale and Christmas sales, Halloween sales for every store. So now you can look at the deal history and see there's been 65 deals posted in basically a year, since March 11th of last year. And you can go back and historically look at those deals. And before they even announce a sale now, we can go in there and run scans in TA or OA X-ray or however it is you're doing your arbitrage, and go find what you want to buy. So if there's a bunch of other people buying, something that may be limited, you can go in there, like the minute the sale starts, go in there and order what you wanted, when your competition may just have to go look and see what they want to buy because they just found out about that sale. So a few questions about this. You can share with your VAs. Obviously, you need to let us know, because we're going to see some crazy IP addresses, so we don't want to have to block you. Yes. So if you subscribe, it's only $24.95. I mean, it's under $25. If you pay by the year, you're basically getting 2 months free, or you're paying what, like 24.12. Sorry, if you're paying by the year, you're saving 17%. So you're paying like $20 a month or $21, something like that. And yes, you can share it with your VA. You know, obviously it's hard to police. You know, we'll figure it out eventually. But you know, if you're sharing it with a bunch of people, we're gonna see all the crazy IP addresses coming in. But you know, we ask you to, you know, share it with your company. If you have a partner, yes, share it with your partner. If you have VAs, share it with your VA. You know, it's only $20 to $25, so you know it shouldn't be something you're stealing. But you know, we ask you to have one account for one business, which is how it should be. I don't expect, you know, everybody in your business to, you know, sign up and you're paying for 5 accounts for 5 people. You know, I know some companies do that. Some software does that, but so yes, that's the easy part. And then, okay, so an opposite button, items that are not supported by tactical arbitrage. You know, I don't feel like tactical arbitrage is so overused that, you know, that's necessary, but we may look into doing that. So you can look at TA supported sites only, UPC support sites only. You can look at it by country, or if you leave it as it is, then it'll show all the countries. And then if you want to see expired deals, you can do if you want to see the expired deals, you can just uncheck this, and it won't show current deals only. And then, of course, the custom stores. So you can kind of select all the stores that aren't supported by tactical arbitrage. Here, you can search by stores. You can select this as a custom store. So if you hit custom store, when you select view custom stores only, it's only going to show you the stores that are in your custom store list. Okay. You can also hide stores. So normally it wouldn't show any of those stores. So if you hit hide store and then you're just looking on the regular, not custom menu, then it's going to remove those. So if it's something you just have bad luck with all the time, you just hit hide store and it's going to go away. And then subscribe. Every time we post a new deal for that store, so we're subscribed to 1,000 bulbs. Every time we post a new deal, you'll get an email saying a new deal was posted. So you can go there right now, get your deal. So yeah, so there's some other questions. Greg wanted to know if this service goes over all the emails and then we list out the best arbitrage deals. Yes, and then how many deals are usually there? So there's usually about 300 to 500 active deals at any time. So, you know, it kind of changes, you know, day by day, obviously. Deals expire, new ones come in, you know, but I have 2 people that work on this full time. Obviously, we go over, you know, 1,000 emails a day at least. We're going through and we get rid of all the stuff that's not, you know, arbitrage related. Oh, and obviously the linking to tactical arbitrage. So I do have a menu up for tactical arbitrage here. So if we go into product search, and I know a lot of people don't know about this, but you know, you can put in your store price reduction. So, you know, if I had what we were talking about, 20% off on shoes, I could put in 20% off here. And then we had cash back of 6%, and then gift cards would be 2%. And you have to do it in this order, because if you put 6% first, it would take 6% off the total, then 20% off of that, and then 2% off of that. So you have to do these in order. I don't know if you guys can all understand that it's kind of hard to get until you get it, but You know, if you took $100, you started with 100, you took 20% off. Now it's 80, and then you would get 6% off in the cash back. I'm sorry, I did that wrong. It's a gift card. You'd be paying with a gift card, and then the cash back would be giving you 6% of what you actually paid for. So you can put that in there like that, or Alex was kind enough to add a little additional piece, mainly for us. So if we go into the set discounts, there's this import discount button now. So what you can do is, you see this download TA file. One click, it downloads it onto your computer. And this is how it looks like. I don't know why it didn't download, but okay. It's a CSV file. It'll cover all the countries, all the stuff. I forgot that I'm on a Mac. Download linked file. And then if we go back over into the settings, hit import discount, you don't even ever have to open that file. It downloads it, saves it in the correct format that Tactical Arbitrage needs. So we could just choose file. I think that's the file. I could be wrong. I think that's the wrong file. Oh yeah, I'm sorting by title, not. There it is. It's called deals. Usually this is an instant upload. I'm not sure what's. I'm just going to reload this page here. Let's try this again. I don't know if this was a problem on my side or Tactical Arbitrage, but there we go. Now, it does take an extra step. Okay, so it's already in here. So what we do on our end is we're only exporting the deals that's just going to work natively inside the Tactical Arbitrage. And when you look at this list, you may have to search, a certain category through TA. Some of these sites, like this one was only for animal statues. Okay, this one is off on hardware and laser. This is on aquamarine jewelry. So, obviously not every one of these is going to work when you do a site-wide search. But what we do is bring in the card cash deals, or the gift card deals, the cash back deals, and then you'll see them here. So even if we don't have a deal to put in for the store discount, we're going to put in the cash back and gift card deals for you. And then all you have to do is hit save here. Obviously, there's no way to automatically bring this information in. However often you want to update it. We have this, almost 24 hours a day. We're going through those emails to stay caught up with them and get them in there as quick as we can. So, whenever you feel like doing an update, you can just click the one button to download it, click the one button to upload it, and then it's going to put them all in there. As long as you hit save, it's going to save that until you clear it and, upload it again. Okay, so do most sites include the discount in their pricing when TA is doing the search? So Lori, I hope I answered that question when I was showing you. But so we showed you how you can import that with the one click. You mentioned some virtual assistants, Greg. Yes, I see you're really new at this, Greg. So I would really suggest you set up a call. I mean, we're not really pushing you to buy stuff and all that, but I will post the link for that. But I can answer a bunch of questions. I'm sure that you have that people may not be open to answering for you. But we use FreeUp. And you go there, go to freeup.shawnmayo.com. They advertise VAs from $5 to $50. I have some people who used to work for Amazon, some like high-end American ones. That's what's $50. Anything you're probably going to need is about $5. They have people they don't really have people you can use tactical arbitrage and stuff like that, but they have people who are trained to use Amazon, who already know how to use spreadsheets and Excel and do all that stuff. They can use whatever you may need for your Amazon business. Things like replying to negative feedback, opening cases, processing your Amazon reports, stuff like that, where that's probably not the best use of your time. They probably have people that are already trained to do that. We've hired a ton of them. I've done some webinars with them. So, they will probably be able to help you out. Also, if you mention that I sent you there, and this is for everybody, but I think they give you $1 an hour off of like your first VA for life. So they have, and I'll tell you, to the guys who have set up and gotten your own VAs before, how much trouble it is. But we've gone to those other sites, all them sites where you put in an ad for what you want to hire, and we get like 200 people applying. It's horrible. So, and then you have to go through all of them, and half the people don't even barely speak English, or they don't, they apply for every job that they see, and they have no idea what you're even asking them. So they kind of go out and they do the whole hiring. And if anybody, one of the best things about them is if anybody ever quits on you, they'll pay for all the training time to retrain somebody else. But I mean, I've fired a few people that we just didn't mesh together well, but I've never had anybody quit on me yet. So, so yeah, let's see. Any other questions? Greg wanted to know if somebody does arbitrage on a full-time basis, what's a realistic monthly profit? There's really no way to answer that, and I'm sure anybody else has told you the same thing, but it depends on how hard you're working, and it really depends on how much money you're starting with. Like, I started in 2012, and I mean, I really just sold stuff I had around my house. I had done other things, so I had lots of stuff, books and videos and DVDs and collectibles, So we just started selling the stuff, sending the stuff to Amazon FBA that we already had, and then took that money to reinvest to keep buying more stuff. So, I could say I've never invested any outside money. I've gotten a couple of loans from Amazon, way into the game, but I've never really invested any money. So when you say, how much money can I make? Well, if you start with $20,000 and send in $20,000, and then, your first payout, you make, 50% ROI, and you get, you start with 20 and then now you have 30, and, then the next time you make 50% back on that, as an example, then, it's completely different from the guy who spent 1,000 or spent 100. So, what I can say is realistically, you can take and get, you can get a 30 to 50% ROI back, and I'd say you could turn, 50 to 80% of your stock, but that all depends on how much you're starting with and how fast the movers are. And, if you bought 1,001 product or one of 1,000 products, where they're all going to be moving, or you have to sell through 1,000 to make your money back. So there's a lot of ifs, but, like I said, I'm willing to go over all that stuff privately with anybody who wanted to set up, a meeting with me. Yeah. So yeah, Alex don't really have any kind of API. He's got a deal with one guy to do stuff, but we're super happy that he's accommodated us enough that we can just upload our files into there and made it so easy. If he makes some kind of API access in the future, we will definitely be one of the first ones to to do that. Um, so the service, okay, so I think we may have answered everything. $30 a month on month. Oh yeah, I think 30% ROI is definitely possible. I mean, don't buy things at 30% ROI because you have to pay for shipping and prep time and all the other stuff, and prices going down. But yeah, I mean, if you're buying stuff at 50% ROI, 30% ROI overall is probably very doable. You know. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys the link. Whoops. So there's the link. You can sign up. We're doing it's 20. It's only so for all that it's $24.97 a month. You get about 10% off, as you see on the screen. If you pay for 3 months at a time, if you pay for a year at a time, I mean, we're not going anywhere. I've been doing this tool for, I mean, close to 2 years now. It's already about 13 months of the actual software was there, and then we were doing the sheet with a ton of subscribers. So if anybody had that in the beginning, you can see there's a huge difference. And if you pay for the year, like I said, you're basically getting you're paying for 10 months, 17% off. So any other questions, please hit that up in the chat. If not, we're well over an hour. And then we'll give you guys the link and all that in an email. And please set up a call with me if you have any questions or you want to go over anything else privately. And one just popped up. Jeff Jeff asked if I could explain my monthly service for supplier lists. So I'm sorry, Jeff, can you just